Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Environment Committee meeting for today, Wednesday, April 14th, 2021. It is now 10:06. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to attend the meeting. I will start with Roman numeral 2 and remarks by my leadership team. Senator Cohen.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everybody. Always good to be back together again. And I just wanted to make note, I'm off camera this morning in the interest of safety. I am in audio only mode on my way up to the Capitol as the Senate is in session today. I had planned on being there in time for this meeting, but best laid plans. So I am off camera, but listening attentively and looking forward to a good meeting today. So thanks so much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator. Representative Harding.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Thank you for recognizing me, and look forward to a good meeting today and a good discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. And of course, Senator Minor.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good to be with all of you today. I just wanted to, put on the record that we have two bills before us today, both of which fall within the cognizance of the Environment Committee. And I'm understanding that the leadership, at least you and Senator Cohen, are preferring only to deal with one bill, which I understand. But I think the fact that the second bill is before us speaks again to how vitally important it is that we move money from the DEP to municipalities for the treatment of invasive plants. We're going on our second year now. I just bought my new registration for my boat, paid my new surcharge, which frankly, I'm not opposed to. But to my knowledge, we still don't have much movement from the agency that sits on somewhere around $400,000, $500,000. So we're going to continue to see these bills. They're not going to stop coming if the agency doesn't figure out a way to help deal with these invasive species, whether they're solely within the boundary of a community or whether they're large public bodies of water that everyone enjoys. So it is important. I think I understand why you'd prefer not to take the bill up, but just wanted to put that on the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Moving on to Roman numeral 3, bills for review. Item number 1, substitute for House Bill number 6099, file number 102. An act concerning antitrust issues and the palliative use of marijuana and the sale of hemp and hemp products. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Representative Palm, seconded by Representative Hennessy. This bill is a Department of Consumer Protection bill. In its current form, requires anyone involved in a transaction that results in a material change to a medical marijuana business to file written notice with the Attorney General and to wait a certain amount of time. Specifically for our Environment Committee, the bill in its current form allows licensed medical marijuana producers to manufacture, market, produce, or store hemp products, the normal tracking of purchases throughout the manufacturing general law.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And to follow up on that, marijuana providers are restricted from marketing and selling the hemp products in their stores or their facilities. Would you know, just from a practical standpoint, why they would be purchasing the hemp, for what purposes they would be purchasing the hemp through you?
From what I understand from the Department of Consumer Protection, the THC levels in hemp are low enough so that they are able to use that as a product for individuals who do not need a THC level that is high enough to be classified as medical marijuana. So they're trying to create a market for our hemp growers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And so through you, again, if the medical marijuana providers aren't able to sell the hemp in their facilities, from what you had said, then what I'm trying to clarify is then how would they be creating a market in the facility for individuals that want to purchase hemp if they're not allowed to sell it in the facility through you?
From what I understand, and I'm getting this from the Department of Consumer Protection, is that the use of the product by the medical marijuana dispensaries would be come under the guise of what they are regulated already as a medical marijuana dispensary, and not necessarily that of a hemp facility. So that's what we're being told. The reason it came to environment was to basically align it with the current regulations that we have in the state for hemp.
So thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'm still, maybe I'm missing this. I just, I certainly understand what you're saying, and it makes sense in terms of just aligning or the medical marijuana facilities being under the auspices or regulations of a medical marijuana facility. But I had thought maybe I misunderstood you when you began the conversation on the bill today. But my understanding of what your summary was that the medical marijuana facilities would be restricted from selling the hemp products in their facilities. Did I understand you right through you, Mr. Chair?
That's the way that the bill summary that environment received stated. That is what I'm going off of.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, and again, that's why I'm following up on why the medical marijuana facilities would be purchasing the hemp if they're not allowed to sell it in their facilities. What would the purpose be?
They could potentially turn it into CDB oil. They could use it in other ways that were of course regulated by their Department of Consumer Protection and their medical marijuana regulations.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Chair. So through you, if I understand you correctly, so they're restricted from selling the hemp as is.
Yes.
But they're allowed to manufacture it in a manner in which it can be sold. So they are essentially selling the hemp product, but just in a different form through you?
From that is what I'm gleaning from the bill summary that was done by general law.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And so through you, just to follow up on that, I just, as the chair well knows, and I think pretty much everyone in the committee well knows, the hemp industry in the state has been really doing well. I mean, we've done a really nice job in a very short amount of time of really growing that industry, which is fantastic. I will support this bill today. I just do have concerns about impacting the hemp producers that are off to a great start here in our state by allowing the medical marijuana facilities to purchase hemp outside the state and then to sell that hemp. I understand not in its form as hemp, but in another form in their facilities, and potentially impacting the market for our farmers here in the state of Connecticut. So, that is a concern of mine. If I'm understanding the operations of this correctly. And so I going forward, I think it's something that we all should be keeping in mind to make sure that there's no impact on the hemp industry, which we've started here in the state, which is, from everything I've heard, and I think everything that this committee has heard, is off to a really good start. And is only going to grow from here. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative. And we do have a hemp bill pending that came out of our committee that would align us with the federal USDA regulations that have been issued back in March. So in no way would I want to jeopardize that bill either. Next is Senator Minor, followed by Representative Dubitzky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I had some similar questions as those asked by Representative Harding, but what I'd prefer to do, I guess, is go on to a different one. The title of this bill talks about, let me just go back up to it. Antitrust. Did I read that right? Yeah, antitrust issues. And to my knowledge, and I may be wrong, to my knowledge, we closely regulated and dramatically limited the number of medical marijuana facilities, both grow and dispensary, in the onset, in an attempt to get a good handle on what was going to occur under the rubric of medical marijuana. My recollection is the Department of Consumer Protection allowed spin-offs, sub-permittees, if you will, at different locations. So despite our attempt, there were some additional locations that were permitted under the auspices of the Department of Consumer Protection. The hemp industry is just getting started, but so is the CBD community. And when I see the CBD nameplates, signs in communities that I represent, they generally are pretty small mom and pop organizations, operations. I'm wondering whether allowing what I would call the big fish an opportunity to market similar products through their heavily financed, limitedly owned facilities is going to actually drive out some of these small people that are trying to make a living. I remember testimony on the deposit bill from folks in Hartford. And if I came in through Albany Avenue, I think I would probably find a number of these small community storefronts there on Albany Avenue. So I'm not sure how I feel about this bill. I do want to try and help the hemp industry grow, no pun intended. And I do want to see other retail opportunities afforded a good chance of survival here in the state of Connecticut. But if I'm right on what I said in the beginning of this, which is we dramatically limited the number of licenses for medical marijuana and then allowed those people to open up additional locations, it just seems to me in this bill, there's some other language that's somewhat troubling. If you could tell me, what's the purpose of requiring testing to be done inside the state of Connecticut under this bill?
Thank you, Senator. The requirement for testing in the state, independent testing laboratory for the state, and as far as the reason why, I'm unsure at this point.
Well, I thank you for that response, and I'm unsure myself. And so, if I do support this bill today, I'd like it to be known that I have some real concerns about a bill that is titled antitrust, and then a requirement that allows individuals in the hemp industry to only get their products tested in Connecticut, when I think we went through a lot of effort initially, understanding we had no such facilities in Connecticut, and that they could in fact go to Massachusetts for testing. To my understanding, we've been doing testing since this program started, and there weren't any in Connecticut. So I'm inclined to just sit and listen to the rest of it, but it seems ironic that a bill titled antitrust appears to have the flavor of antitrust. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator. And next we have Representative Dubitsky, followed by Representative Palm.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I echo the statements and sentiments of my two ranking members. But the one item that I do want to highlight, which you yourself indicated in your opening remarks and is in the summary presented to us, is that once a producer receives these products, being hemp products, they are deemed marijuana, and the producer must comply with the applicable marijuana laws and statutes. So my understanding, and perhaps if you could either confirm or disavow me of this, is that although the marijuana dispensary companies can acquire hemp just like a hemp company could, if once the marijuana company is in possession of it, it is considered marijuana regardless of its THC level, and shall be handled and sold as marijuana as opposed to as hemp. Is that correct?
Representative Dubitsky, that is how I read the language as well.
Okay, thank you. That was my only point, and it appears that if that is the case, then my fears about having the big marijuana companies essentially knock some of the smaller hemp companies out of business may be allayed. But I'll continue to listen to the discussion. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Palm, followed by Representative Dillon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm very heartened to hear our colleagues talking about ensuring that the small businesses are not driven out. This is, I think, at its core an antitrust bill, and I think that as we move into the possibility of legalizing recreational cannabis, we talk a lot about the justice aspects and the regulation aspects to make sure that it's safe. As I read this bill, it's really to make sure that the processes are followed properly, the waiting times, et cetera. And the fact that it was passed out of committee unanimously in a bipartisan way, I think says a lot, and that we should honor that. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Palm. Next, Representative Dillon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I looked at this bill yesterday and was, since there are pieces of this floating around different committees, tried to make sense of it. And I guess I just want to say, first, I'm assuming because many of our members are much more involved in a hands-on way in what will become the final product than I have been, number one. Number two, I represent a city which has many people keep saying, well, the ones who are not unkind, point out, we have a lot of tax exempt property. We have a medical marijuana facility on the, not far from my home near the highway. I am studiously attempting to protect the companies that pay taxes in our town, which would include that facility, which has been a good neighbor. I am prepared to vote this out of committee today, as I have on some other measures, although I do not know what the effect will be on a local business in New Haven. And I want to hear that before I'm willing to support other issues. But in deference to the process and to the chairs today, I will vote yes.
Thank you, Representative Dillon. Representative Fishbein.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning to you.
Good morning.
I respect the process here in that a different committee, which has different cognizance address the language before us, but there's a reason why the language comes to us, and our cognizance has to do with deep and such things. So I ask you, Mr. Chairman, in review of the testimony that's supported, that's submitted for or against this bill, where is the testimony from DEEP in support of what's before us here today?
I wasn't aware that DEEP had provided testimony in favor of this bill. The only opposition that I recall reading was on the original bill and the anti-trust portion of it, not the hemp portion.
So our role here, Mr. Chairman, having cognizance with DEEP, would it not be important as members of this Environment Committee to have in our possession the testimony of that very important agency to guide us as to the benefits, perhaps pitfalls of approving this legislation? I would think it would be.
Well, the agency of cognizance for hemp has been the Department of Agriculture, and in my conversations with the individuals at that department, they are in support of the legislation moving forward.
Okay, and I'd like to associate myself with the remarks of Senator Minor. I'm very concerned by Section 4, which, I guess the intent of that is to ascertain whether or not the product is marijuana based upon its THC level, or hemp based upon a lower THC level. Am I to understand that's the intent of the testing of this product?
That is correct, sir.
And I believe in your opening remarks, sir, you mentioned that this product would be coming from another state. Did I hear you correctly?
The product can come from another state as long as that individual entity is certified, and it does that product does need to go through the testing process here in the state of Connecticut for THC levels.
Sure. So I ask, if the product is located in Pennsylvania, and it is a question, at least under this legislation, whether or not that product has a THC level that makes it marijuana, or is it legitimate hemp? How does that purveyor in Pennsylvania get that product to Connecticut for testing without possibly jeopardizing the federal law? Why can't they test it in their state, send assurances, whatever assurances are acceptable to us and our state government as to the THC level, and then get the product here? Why does Section 4 prohibit that activity?
I do not have a good answer for that question. It's the way the bill was sent to us. I don't have a good answer for that.
Well, I thank you for that. The concern is, as Senator Minor mentioned, it's supposed to be a bill dealing with antitrust issues. And, if we take hemp, poppy seeds are similar, right? Poppy seeds go on bagels. At some point in the manufacturing line, somebody has to ascertain the opium level of those poppy seeds. So now if we say to all the bagel manufacturers out there, you can only use poppy seeds in Connecticut that are tested in Connecticut, I think somebody's going to find a problem with that. And I find significant problems with this protectionist aspect of this law, which is more than likely unconstitutional, but we sometimes pass unconstitutional things anyway. So, I'm just very troubled by the hypocritical aspect, with all due respect, of Section 4 of this bill. And just because general law passed it out unanimously does not mean that I have to support protectionist legislation. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative. Next, Senator Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just arrived in my office, so just trying to get situated here, but I have been listening to the conversation and just wanted to reiterate some of the comments of my co-chair based on the questions. And I just have to say, I really appreciate Representative Fishbein's bagel analogy. But I will say, with respect to hemp, which is what the Environment Committee does have cognizance over, and the reason that this bill did come to our committee, there are no new testing requirements as the hemp law is concerned. This is very, very specific in terms of testing requirements for hemp growers selling medical marijuana to their facilities. And when we say medical marijuana, in this case, it would be hemp, low to almost zero THC content. As we know, it has to be below 0.3 to be considered hemp. And there is a market for this because, as you mentioned, the CBD oil becomes paramount for many patients seeking use of medical marijuana. In fact, pediatric patients certainly wouldn't be prescribed that they have a THC content, but the CBD oil has proven beneficial in many cases, some in terms of seizures and other very serious medical conditions that our patients have come to rely on these products. And so we need to get this right. This is indeed a pro-business, pro-farming bill for our hemp industry. It's another avenue for them to sell. And I just want us to keep that in mind as we move forward with a vote today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Cohen. Seeing no other hands raised, I will ask Gaia to please call the roll.
For House Bill 6099, Senator Cohen,
Senator Cohen votes yes.
Representative Gresco,
Representative Gresco votes yes.
Senator Slatt,
Senator Slapp votes yes.
Senator Slatt, if I could have you do that one more time to get you on speaker view.
Sure. Senator Slapp votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Palm,
Representative Palm votes yes.
Senator Minor,
Senator Minor votes yes.
Representative Harding,
Representative Harding votes yes.
and just one more time, Representative Harding.
Yeah, sure. Representative Harding votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Berger Javallo,
Representative Berger Javallo votes yes.
Representative Betts, Representative Callahan,
Representative Callahan votes yes.
Representative Chafee,
Rep. Chafee votes yes.
Representative D'Amico,
Representative D'Amico votes yes.
Representative Dillon,
Representative Dillon votes yes.
Representative Tubitsky,
Representative Dubitsky votes yes.
Representative Fishbein,
Representative Fishbein votes no.
Representative Gucker,
Representative Gucker votes yes.
Representative Harrison,
Representative Harrison votes yes.
Senator Haskell,
Senator Haskell votes yes.
Representative Hennessy,
Hennessy votes yes.
Representative Horn,
Representative Horn votes yes.
Senator Castor, Senator Kushner.
Senator Kushner votes yes.
I'm sorry, Senator, could you say it one more time?
Senator Kushner votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Michelle,
Rep. Michelle votes yes.
Representative Mashinsky,
Rep. Mashinsky votes yes.
Representative O'Day,
Representative O'Day votes yes.
Representative Parker,
Representative Parker votes yes.
Representative Piscopo,
Representative Piscopo votes yes.
Representative Verbimbis? Representative Reyes? Representative Ryan?
Ryan votes yes.
Representative Smith?
Representative Smith votes yes.
Representative Wilson?
Representative Wilson votes yes.
Representative Young?
Representative Young votes yes.
I saw you, Representative Verbimbis. Not sure if you had a hard time getting off mic. Representative Verbimbis? Okay, so I have Representative Verbimbis, Representative Reyes, Representative Betts, Senator Cash.
Representative Betts, pardon me, Representative Betts votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Kasser then, and Representative Verbimbis and Representative Reyes are the only ones that I haven't had a vote yet from.
Madam Clerk, do you mind if I thought
thank
my
you.
vote had been recorded. My apologies.
No,
So
thank you.
Representative Verbimbis votes no.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that concludes the vote. So it's Representative Reyes and Senator Kasser are the only ones we're waiting on.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving on to item number 2, under Roman numeral 3, substitute for House Bill 6419. That bill will be held. So that concludes our business for today. Thank you all for taking the time to participate in our Zoom meeting. And we will end up, it is now 10:39 by my watch here. So we will leave the votes open for the pair of individuals that still need to vote for another hour until, let's say, 11:45 to make it a pretty good break time. And again, we will stand in recess until 11:45. So thank you again, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Good to see you.
Thanks,
Craig.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Hi, Senator Haskell. I saw your hand up and you're still, and I just wanted to make sure everything was okay.
Hey, Guy. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. I only cast one vote today. Was there a second bill call that I missed?
No, you're all set.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Guy, I'm sorry, what time are we holding the votes open till? I missed Joe.
I did miss that as well at the beginning.
11:45.
11:45. All right, thank
Yeah,
you.
but give everybody an hour. Just there's a couple people.
Is there any Republican missing votes?
No, I only have Senator Kasser and Representative Reyes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Steve.
welcome.
Thanks, Joe. Yep.
Thanks, Gaia.
You're welcome. Hi, Senator.
Hi, Gaia.
Hi. Oh, good. I just
Okay.
need to see you really quickly. So
Okay.
it's just for House Bill 6099.
Right. Yes,
vote?
Senator Casser votes yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Have a good
Bye.
one.
You too.